So Philando Castile's girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds. Now, many of you remember Philando Castile. He was the brother that was a teacher in Minnesota that was pulled over by the cop. You know, he told the cop he did have a concealed carry. He told him it's right here. And then when he went to take off his seatbelt, the cop just unloaded on him right in front of Diamond Reynolds and her 4-year-old child at the time period. And many people was upset about that. Of course, the cop got off. The cop didn't go to jail at all. Philando Castile did everything that you would say right. Have a job, not causing trouble, and yet he was still killed by the police. That is a reality for black people here in America. We are constantly living under siege. Well, after all of that, and there was a lot of trauma that happened with that, okay? They say Diamond Reynolds is suing the mayor of Elysian, Minnesota for defamation after he authored a social media post Reynolds says attacked her character. So in 2017, Tom McBroom fired off a tweet claiming Reynolds, who is black, would spend the cash settlement she received after the deadly shooting on crack cocaine. He says that she needs to come off of county and state aid now that she has some cash. And they say in the Rice County Sheriff's Sergeant at the time tweeted, according to the Minnesota Star Tribune, it'll be gone in 6 months on crack cocaine. Now, Reynolds' lawsuit decries her remarks as defamatory, false, and racially motivated, which is true. Now, the defendant is alleging the plaintiff is an abuser of serious drugs and has an addiction that causes her financial stress, and is someone who bases her existence on the total cost of daily living on support of municipalities and other state entities in Minnesota. Okay, so this is the thing. Before I even continue with this, you said that this woman is going to spend a settlement on crack cocaine. Okay. You cannot say things like that about really anybody, especially you being in that position of power, for one. You, even on a platform like YouTube, can't come out and just say, hey, this person is smoking crack cocaine. Hey, this person's a scammer. Hey, this person's a liar. Hey, this person's a cheater. This person's a this person's a that, right? Why can't you do that? You can't do that because can you prove that? Can you prove that in a court of law, what you're saying? If you're so loud and boastful about what you're saying, can it be proven when you're given a subpoena to come to court by a constable? Can you prove that? And if you cannot prove that, whether it's him or anybody else, if you cannot prove that, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to lose a lawsuit and you're going to pay behind lying on people and defaming their character. Or if she had a business, harming her business, if she had one. Let's say she created something like that, a business, and they say, oh, she's going to spend the money on crack cocaine. Then you're mentioning that she has some sort of county and state aid. And so, even if she did have that, why is it that black people are always demonized behind using state aid? But when you look at the numbers, white folks lead in food stamps. White folks lead in welfare. White folks lead in all of that. They receive more than any other race. But you don't demonize white people for that, but you're always demonizing black people. You understand something? How I feel about it, they can cut off all of it. Because one thing I know about black people, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. We always will bounce back. But you don't cut off welfare and food stamps because it's going to hurt your people. It's not going to hurt us like that. Not at all. We know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. We've been knowing that. That's been our history here in America. But you can't do it. That's why you don't want to cut off. I challenge any Republican. Y'all in charge, cut it all off. Let's see who survives. Let's see who make more of a stink about it. You think black people gonna make the stink? They're gonna say something about it. But at the end of the day, they will bounce back and they will be okay. Because one thing I know about us, we actually do better under certain conditions. And ever since they came in with all that welfare and food stamps, which was definitely given by Democrats, that hurt us. Because prior to that, we didn't have that crap. And the black community had more businesses. Our families were together. We was held more accountable to each other. Because if you go out there and have children or you making children or whatever you're doing, the families, the black families would hold you accountable. It didn't have to be the government. I remember the black families would talk about how, y'all gonna get together. You're not gonna leave my daughter out here like that, or you will get hurt. Like the men in the other family will hurt you behind that. So you gonna make a family with her. Y'all gonna be together. And both families will be on with that. And that's the way it should be. You're sitting up there making all these babies with each other and don't want to form no families. And now that's why we condition that we in now. So we were doing a whole lot better historically with that. So if you're not demonizing white folks, don't demonize black folks. And black people, don't let them demonize you for using government assistance when they all day using it. The crazy part is y'all have $18 to every one black person dollar, and yet y'all still using the system. That's the part that should be talked about. And then I've seen stories where they've had raids of food stamp fraud. People that didn't even need food stamps, and it wasn't raids of food stamp fraud of black folk. But we don't talk about those stories like that, right? Right there in New York. Y'all don't cover that. But if it's a black person had any kind of food stamp fraud, y'all blasting it on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, etc. So black people, don't pay attention to them demonizing. But Diamond Reynolds did the right thing. Before I continue, she did the right thing. And even on this YouTube space, if somebody is screaming and yelling, calling you a scammer, and they hurt what you was trying to do, why don't you send them a subpoena? Why don't you make an example out of one of them? Do it. And let them prove in court that you are a scammer. Let them prove that. And they're not going to have no proof other than I think. I think it's not proof. You got to have tangible proof that someone is a scammer. So when you make these videos calling people scammers, calling people whatever you want to call them about the black community, be careful, because you don't know how many lawyers this person have or have access to. Just saying, just want to protect people's pockets. So they talk about in November 2017 that she reached a settlement of $800,000 with the city of St. Anthony, the city of Roseville, and the League of Minnesota City Insurance Trust in connection to the fatal shooting that we saw on Facebook. Unfortunately, we saw that. McBoom's callous response to the news of the settlement drew swift backlash on social media when asked why he assumed Reynolds, who has no history of drugs, was a cocaine user. The ex-sergeant responded, history. What history? She did not have anything. Oh, but he was just basically using that as a racial thing, right? So, you like I said, once again, we said by Malcolm X, anything south of Canada is the South. That includes Minnesota. Don't think you're going to go to Minnesota and at least I'm not in Alabama where them races are at. No, you in the same racist spot as you would be in Alabama, okay? So it said court records show that he was later demoted for misconduct. That's what he stated after that offensive tweet. His comments, they were saying, were not the beliefs of our agency. We're trying to move forward in a positive manner, said Sheriff Troy Dunn. I hope the public just trusts that we're in this to do the right thing and that we're trying to provide great training and great people to do a job here. So when you also have a sheriff joining in with this guy, once again, white supremacist is just not a Richard Spencer, a David Duke, a Ku Klux Klan member, a neo-Nazi. White supremacists are in positions of leadership, and they are the most dangerous of all. You have a mayor, you have a sheriff, dangerous. Two people that can really affect your life based on race. That's the white supremacists we need to go after. The Richard Spencers of the world, they don't control nothing. It's people like this. Now, they said McBoom tried to defend himself against the backlash, saying that his comment misinterpreted had nothing to do with Reynolds' race. Rather, he claimed he was referring to the history he's seen of people blow through their settlement money. Now, that's not what you were saying. He said, I've seen them come to court, they lost their children, when they come to court dressed to the nines with Michael Kors purses. He said, I see it time and time again. I just shake my head and say, why wasn't there anyone to help that person? That's another thing. They love to pocket watch black people. They can't help it. Like, listen, if you're looking at the type of purses that a woman's walking around with, I mean, that's not your woman. So why are you paying attention to the purse that she has? Always pocket watching black people. What he gonna do with that money? What's she gonna do with that money? Why Chris Brown bought that? He just spending all that money. Why Floyd Mayweather bought that? He don't need to be spending that money like that. That's way too much money for Floyd Mayweather to be having. They're only trying to say what's too much money for a black person to be having, or how much money you spend. But they don't go say, Tom Brady, he sure spending too much of his money. I don't know why he's doing that. They don't go say that. They'll say, Tom Cruise, why did he buy that car? That's way too much money for him to be spending. He could have done a lot better than that. You know, they don't say that. So it's no pocket watching the white people, but you're only pocket watching black people. It's that slave master that's in a lot of them. That's why they don't want the slave in their mind to have more than them, not even 10 cents more. That's why you have the fight for reparations that they have. They know that reparations is old, but they don't want you to have 10 cents more than they have in their minds. They don't want to have 10, you have it, because you don't supposed to have nothing. Black people and what they have created in the world is you are poor, you are destitute, you have nothing, you are nothing, you'll never be nothing. So when you have a little bit, and this settlement doesn't bring back Philando Castile, but just because a person got a settlement, maybe they wouldn't be getting settlements if you treated people like human beings and treated people by the Constitution. And maybe you actually follow the Bible and not your idol that you have created that's not even the one that you're talking about, white Jesus, because white Jesus did not exist. Jesus did, but not white one. So maybe you would actually follow the Bible. You wouldn't be killing people to pay settlements to worry about them buying Michael Kors. I mean, do your wife have Michael Kors? She probably don't. That's why you're mad that a black woman have it and your wife don't. So they say Reynolds lawsuit argues that she suffered pain. Yes, she did. Emotional stress and damage to her reputation as a result of McBoom's tweet. She's seeking more than $50,000 in damages and attorney costs, and I believe she should get it. Anytime those people come out, listen to me, saying those sort of things about you, you get those tweets, you get those videos, you take it to your lawyer and say, do I have a case? And if they say, yeah, you got a case, sue they behind, sue them, because don't let these people get away with just talking things like that about you. They think they can just ruin our reputation anytime they get good and ready. They can say whatever they want. They crackheads. They're lazy. You know, you can sue somebody for saying you're lazy. You know that? Oh, he's just lazy. And there's no proof of that. No proof of that at all. They would actually have to prove that you're lazy. And they're damaging your reputation for jobs, maybe promotions or whatever, by putting out there, you're lazy. I guarantee you, start suing these people. That's one thing black people don't do. You don't sue. White folks will sue you. They'll sue you with the quickness. They'll send you that cease and desist letter first, and they'll say, hey, you need to take that down. You need to retract this. You need to do that. And if you don't have to. I'm going to sue you. See, they do that in a minute. You can sue too, black people. Even in small claims court, you can sue up to $5,000. Sue. Don't let these people talk about you, calling you crackheads and you just horrible. Man, these people need to start paying for their mouth. They need to start paying for it. But you have to do it. And you're talking about taking power back. That's taking power, because once they see a trend of black people suing for their mouth, once they say, oh, they are this, they are that, listen to the words they're saying. Once they keep getting sued too much, they'll say, man, we got to keep that conversation in our house about black folks. Yes. And keep it off of social media as well. I'm a firm believer of black people suing, and making racists pay for their mouth. And Diamond Reynolds should get her $50,000. She should, because that woman been through enough. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about Diamond Reynolds and what she, definitely been through. We all seen that, which is horrible. Nobody in life would want to see something like that, especially a poor child, and just to be victimized again by these two, which is horrible, but it's good. They're going to pay for it. And once again, I'm gonna put that out there, because especially all these things are changing, even on YouTube with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, the COPPA they keep talking about. You are responsible for your videos, and you're responsible for your mouth. I want to put that out there. So don't call people certain names if you do not want a subpoena.